Hi, I'm Dana with WholeHealthDana.com, and today I'm going to teach you how to make gazpacho. It's summer, and what summer is complete without gazpacho? So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to chop all of our vegetables. Now normally at home I would just throw them in my food processor and pulse it until it was the right size, but today I want to show that this is something that's super easy to make and you don't need any fancy kitchen equipment. You can make it at home with your vegetables and your knife. So we're going to slice our tomatoes, and we're just going to dice them into little bite sizes. And it doesn't really seem to matter what type of tomato you use. I buy whatever is on sale. So sometimes they're Romas, sometimes they're beefsteak. I don't really have a preference, just ripe. So as you can see, I mean, that's about maybe the size of my thumbnail. That's what bite size means to me. Okay, so once we've chopped our tomatoes, we're going to chop our peppers. And we're going to do half of a green pepper and half of a yellow pepper. You can pick whatever you want. You could do, well, you don't even have to have a pepper. It's kind of optional, but you could just do one green pepper, one yellow, one red, one orange. I like the look that you get when you have different colors in it, but certainly not necessary, and it's not going to contribute too much to a different taste that you're going to actually care. So just clean out all the seeds, and then you're just going to cut little slices on your pepper, and then we're just going to dice these into little spots. And these are probably a little smaller than what I did for the tomatoes. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with our yellow pepper. Okay, so we need a cucumber, and I just cut off the ends, just I don't like the funky ends. And then you're just going to dice your cucumber into small little chunks. I cut mine in half and then add little slices to it, so you can see I've got just a bunch of little slices through that part, and I'm just going to cut them into small little dices. I'm going to do that for the entire cucumber. Okay, so now we're going to slice our onion, and I just cut off the little top and the bottom, and I don't think there's any right or wrong way of how you slice your onion. I kind of do the exact same thing that I did with the cucumber, actually. Alright, so then I'm just going to cut it into little dices. Okay, so next we need to cut our peppers. I just got an Anaheim pepper here, and we need about 3 tablespoons. I'm not really going to measure it. I'm just going to cut it in half and call it good. Now, I'm notorious for rubbing my eyes and getting pepper juice in them, so now I just put on gloves before I get started, and it really saves me a lot of pain. Now, I don't like my food too particularly spicy, so I'm going to make sure that I get out all of the seeds, because that's where the hot really is. And then probably if there's any veins in there, I will pull them out too. So I'm just going to cut it in half and look inside of it. This one doesn't have too many seeds on the bottom, but I'm just going to scrape those out. And then this is optional. However, I always do is to add a jalapeno. And I do the exact same process that I did with that one. Slice off the top, cut out the center. Now you can see that the jalapeno has a lot more seeds. And I will just kind of cut that out of there, much like I would with a sweet pepper. Make sure I scrape out all the seeds. I want to make sure that I get everything out of it. You can leave them if you want your soup to be spicier. Alright, so once you have those cleaned out, you're just going to cut them into small little pieces. You can make them as big or as little as you want, but since I'm not big into super spicy food, I make mine pretty tiny, just in case. Okay, so once all of our vegetables are diced, we're going to add in our garlic. And I just have a little press here. I'm going to put in 4 cloves today. These are kind of medium size. Normally I would go for something a little bit larger, but this head just didn't have any giant cloves on it, so that's okay. Okay, so now we're going to add our tomato juice. Now I bought some from a bottle today, just an organic, it just says veggie juice. I guess it's kind of like a V8. Sometimes I will make a tomato juice in the juicer, but today for ease, we're going to do it this way. So 1 cup of tomato juice. And we need 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. Pretty much everything I use is organic, so even if I don't specify it, say it out loud, it's always organic. And we're going to need 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Recipe calls for half of a teaspoon, but I already know I'm going to use a full teaspoon just because that's how I roll. And then once we have all of our ingredients added in, we're just going to mix this up. It's going to probably want to let it sit for an hour or 2 before serving it. Let the flavors meld a little bit. And then if you want to, most of the time I actually do make this in the food processor. My chunks are probably a little bit smaller, and it's probably a little bit juicier and runnier just from dicing the tomatoes in the food processor. When I serve this, I usually dice up an avocado and throw it on top of it before I eat to add a little salt. And that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Whole Health Dana and how to make your own gazpacho. If you would like more recipes, come see us on the web at www.wholehealthdana.com and follow us on social media using the links below. And we hope you have a great day.